Hell yeah. I was gonna say, like, you fucking better run and catch that bitch. I'm streaming now. Yeah, I'm waiting for like the blue to get on, and then I mean I'm down to jump over to Avengers so we can go run a couple elite raids because I know he still needs two more elites. You already finished all your shit, right? All elites and all regulars. Okay, yeah. So I mean, I'm just waiting a little bit until he gets on because I wanted to play this last night before I went to sleep, bro. But I ended up knocking out, dude. I didn't go to sleep till 1 o'clock in the morning, dude. That's what I'm saying. I was chilling. When I got off with you guys, I was chilling. I started grubbing and watching that anime show on Netflix called Seis Manos. Yeah, it's in English, but it's spelled in the name of the title. It's in Spanish, and they're in Mexico and shit like that. But it's all in English. But the name of the show is called Six Hands, but it's in Spanish. But that's what it's called, the Six Hands. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's not a that's a real fucking mythology in real life. That's real shit. Yeah, yeah. Talking about La Llorona. Yeah, yeah. Look, watch the La Llorona. It's like I guess you would consider it like an urban legend type of thing, kind of like how people talk about like Bloody Mary type of thing. She's like that. She's like a Bloody Mary, but no, she
combat effectiveness. I have added
my other controller because this one kept dying and my headphones aren't charged yet. But no, she was a real person in real life. But this is how the tale goes. Like, though, I'm just comparing her to what Bloody Mary is because the way that people are afraid of her and how her like myth and their little legend and myth and the story behind her evolved to what it is now. It's along the same lines as comparing her to Bloody Mary. You know, when people go to the bathroom and turn off the light and look in the mirror and say her name 3 times, she's supposed to appear and some crazy shit happens. You know what I mean? Okay, well, La Llorona, the real story of La Llorona just means the crybaby. That's what that means in Spanish. And you'll understand the meaning of that name when I tell you her story. You'll understand why that's the meaning of her name, like why that they call her that. You'll understand. But basically they call her the crybaby, the girl that's crying or the woman that's crying. You know what I mean? But that's what Llorona is. Now, the story with her was that this woman, she had like 4 or 5 kids, and she murdered all of her children by drowning them in a lake. And then she ended up dying. And her penance and her penalty for killing her kids is that she has to wander the earth in a spirit form. You know, she wanders the earth, you know, and you see her appearing to people, and she's always crying and crying and crying. And you go up to her, like, people have gone up to this quote unquote spirit because they've seen her, and they go up to her like, why are you crying, why are you crying? And she's like, my kids, my kids, my kids, you know, where are my kids, where are my kids? And then even some people have said that they followed her to like some lake, and then she goes into a lake and disappears, and then they end up hearing the story of that woman that fucking murdered her 5 children by drowning them in a lake. But that's the story of La Llorona. No, like no. Well, I mean, no, but like crazy shit would happen. But that was the story of that, and people are like, like I said, like the story as it evolved and as time went by, it changed and all types of shit. So now they now the story is that, you know, when you see her and she appears, and that she's gonna come and take your kids. Like that's the story now. That's the scary shit about it and all that. But that's the real story. Is that the real story is that this woman she murdered all 5 of her children by drowning them in a lake, and she was crazy, you know, and then she ended up dying, and her spirit wanders around crying and asking, you know, crying, where's my kids, my children, where are my children? But, you know, Yeah, the same thing with like the chupacabras. That people say that it's not real, but there's proven footage and pictures that that motherfucking animal is real, and they've shown footage of it. And like the chupacabras, it's a real fucking animal, but you don't really see them. But that the animal's deformed, and they've shown different like different pictures that are more usually blurry, or different videos that are usually you can see what the fucking animal looks like. And a lot of the videos, it looks like a little tiny T-Rex, like a little reptile T-Rex, and then other times it looks like an alien, like a mutated alien, like what I mean? But that shit, it was really happening in real life in the 90s, bro, because you would find livestock and cows and animals, and one time they even found a human where it would have two fucking puncture holes somewhere on the body, but they the entire fucking body was completely drained of blood, and there's no blood anywhere, but this animal's dead. Like, how the fuck is this animal dead? There's no blood inside of it whatsoever, and there's no blood splattered around the body of the carcass. Like that's impossible to do if somebody killed this fucking animal. There's got to be blood somewhere sprayed on the ground or spilled somewhere, and there has to be blood inside of the fucking body of this dead corpse, right? Regardless if it's wet or if it's coagulated and hard or whatever the fuck. But there was absolutely no fucking blood at all inside of the corpse of these cows and these animals that they would find. They would just find two puncture holes. And that's why they call them chupacabras, because they would say that they would suck out the blood, and it was like a vampire monster type of thing. But in the 90s, they were showing this shit on the news. Like, there wasn't no social media back then. You would see this on the news. You'd see people talking about it. You see interviews of people mentioning this shit, that they've seen the fucking chupacabras. You see video footage of some little fucking like mutated, hunched over little fucking evil looking creature with spikes coming out of his back and claws and like, I'm telling you, bro, like all that shit, like that shit is like, like that shit really was fucking happening. Like, I was like 10, 11, 12 years old around that time when I saw that, and like, to me that shit was believable. But it's like, now that I'm older, okay, yeah, I see that yes, exactly, but back then, exactly, and back then they didn't have all this social media, so they didn't have all this quote unquote fake news. Back then, it might have been, back then, some of it might have been fake, but majority of that shit, it was facts. Now they don't show you the shit like that no more, because people are too fucking sensitive. Yep. But yes, but also like back then, it, it's not like now where like now people can go online and they can Google and they can search up whatever research and facts that they're trying to find out for whatever they're trying to either make credible or discredit to prove it is real or fake. They can do all the research and find it out now. Back then, you couldn't do none of that stuff. So it was mostly word of mouth things. And so most of that stuff back then, it was, I guess, what you would consider now to be woke, or, to be the truth that they're, what they were hiding from us. Because back then, like I said, those pictures, that's what it would look like. It looked like a little baby T-Rex. It looked like a mutated reptile. It looked like an alien. Me personally, I think it was a fucking alien, bro. I think it was an alien. And they just didn't, because back then people were still in denial that aliens and other extraterrestrials existed outside of our planet. Now everyone admits it, and governments admit that they've been in contact with aliens for fucking 20, 30 years. They've been in contact with them, and a lot of our technology is because of aliens. Like, a lot of governments admit that now. But back then they all denied it. It was all denial. There's no such thing. There's no such thing. So, me personally, I think the chupacabras was an alien. It's because they couldn't keep it a secret no more, bro. They couldn't keep it a secret no more. That's why. That's why they're like, we can't keep it a secret no more, so let's fucking just admit it so they could fucking drop it and move on. And that's what happened. They admitted it. People were like, we fucking knew it. They dropped the subject and they moved on. But also, like, you also got to think too, bro. Like, you got to be realistic. You know what I mean? Like, you know, regardless if you're religious or not, you know, you have to think realistically. Like, okay, we exist, we're alive, we're humans, we're on this planet. How, you know, if you look up in the sky and you see a star, that star is a sun. Whether it still exists or not, we don't know that, because light can travel for hundreds and thousands of years and miles, but where the origin point of where that light started from might be dead, but because it takes so long for the light to reach to us, we still see it. So like, if you ever look up in the sky and all of a sudden you're like, wait, did that star just disappear? That's probably because that star or that sun exploded and that light finally went out because it's so far away, you know what I mean? But now every sun has to have fucking planets in the solar system rotating around it, bro. It has to. Out of all those fucking stars in the outer space, those are all suns. All those suns have to have planets around them. Whether they have life on them or not, I don't know. But exactly, that's way too many. That's way too many fucking stars and planets for us to say we're the only fucking life. Yep. Yep. No. That's facts. That's facts. Because the only reason why we look the way that we look is because of our evolution and our creation on this planet. We look and act and have the organs and the body and everything in our reproductive and you know, in our body to survive, to be able to survive on this planet's atmosphere. On another planet, they might look different because they're breathing something else different to keep them alive, or they're, you know, other whatever it is. Like, of course they're gonna look different. You know, I get it. And the same thing too. Like, our evolution here, quote, supposedly, you know, if you take the Bible aspect out of it, supposedly our evolution comes from an organism that came into a fish, to a mammal, to a fucking monkey, to what we are now. You know, on another planet, that evolution cycle could be exactly the same, but instead of them fucking being a fucking monkey, they could have been like a fucking a lizard, and then the lizard became a fucking, you know, a human-looking lizard person or some shit. You know what I mean, or whatever other fucking organism that they, you know, evolved from. But it's all based on their planet's atmosphere and their vegetation and whatever food source that they have. Yep, I agree with you. But that's the main reason why. I mean, because I believe in God, and I believe in a higher being, and you know, and a higher power, whatever word you want to use to call and refer to God. I believe in that. You know what I mean? Now, whatever name you call your God, I'm not going to specify, and I'm not going to jump into, oh, I'm this, I'm that. That don't matter. It's all the same to me. But just like how, you know, in religions they say that God created us in God's image. That might be the same case on another planet. The same God that we believe and worship could also, why can he not create other life on another fucking planet, some other solar system? If God, like, you know, everyone says in all religions, if God created everything and everything is God and everything comes from God and everything is, you know, then we can't possibly be the only ones. And that also, that also applies, and it makes sense. And if you think about it, it really goes hand in hand as to, yes, there is a God, and that God does exist, and yes, God did create us in His image. But but see, that's the key point. He created us in His image. We don't look exactly identical to him. Now look at this. Now look at this. Look at humans and look at these quote unquote aliens that we say we've met, like the Greys or the lizards or the reptilians or whatever the fuck you want to call them. They're humanoid. But think about it. Those aliens are human looking. They're humanoid. They walk on two legs. They got two arms. They have a head, two eyes, and a mouth and a nose. So again, God created us in His image, but that also could be His image because they look like a hybrid of humans. Whatever, whether he was practicing or we're the final product, or they were fucking version 1.0 and we're version fucking 5 point whatever. Who knows whether that's true or not? Who knows? But the simple fact remains: he created life in his image. He didn't say it's exactly the same, but again, we look similar to these aliens that we've quote unquote encountered, that have two legs like us, two arms like us, stand upright like us, have two eyes like us, have a mouth like us. Whether or not they have ears or not, that's to be seen, whether you can see them or not, but they look like us. That's what I'm saying. They look like us. So if they look like us and we're, you know, reflections and copies and you know, images of what God is, they were also created by God. Those aliens and those other beings on the planet had to have been, because they look similar to us, just not exactly identical, but they're also in our image, meaning two legs, two arms, a head, two eyes, exactly the same. And that's what goes back to, like, you know, and you could even look at it in like terms of, you know, work. When you're making something, like for example, you have a stencil, you trace the stencil and it creates whatever the fuck that stencil was. You put it on a different paper and trace that same stencil and maybe color it a different color. It's still the fucking same stencil, it just looks different because it's a different color. Make sense? It's the same applies with God created us in His image. He created all these other aliens in His image too. It's the same image, exactly. But we assume that those aliens are not like us, even though they have two legs like us, they stand up like us, they have arms like us, eyes like us, their heads might be a little bigger than ours, their skin color might be gray or brown or purple, whatever the fuck color it is, but yet how many people on earth have different skin colors? Like, it's all still in His image. It's still in His image. And look, this is my argument to people that say, how can you believe in that alien bull and that there's other life out there? How can you believe in that? And this is my argument, and usually it shuts them down. And this is my argument. Okay, you say there's no life out there, and you say there's no aliens and nothing else out there, and that we're the only ones. They're like, yes. How did we get here then? How did we get here? They can't answer that. Oh, we evolved from this. Okay, what started that evolution? It had to have been a spark. It had to have been something that changed it. Like it wasn't. You know what I mean? Like if we're alive, why can there not be someone else that's alive somewhere else? Have you gone to every single planet in every single fucking solar system everywhere? Like, we have not even explored our solar system, let alone all those other millions of fucking solar systems out there. We don't even know what's in our own solar system 100% yet. And for them to say there's no life anywhere else, okay, maybe there's no, maybe exactly. Now maybe they could say we're the only life in our solar system. Okay, I might agree with you there, because from what we've known, there's no life on these other planets that are near us that we know of. So that I would agree with. But for them to say there's no life in any fucking planet out there in existence, and we've only fucking explored less than 1% of outer space, that's just fucking, that's just dumb. That's not smart. And look, the homie Yoon, look at the YouTube there. The homie Yoon is over here saying the same. It is unreasonable to think there is no life anywhere else on another planet, because again, we have not even traveled to the furthest planet in our own solar system, but yet we're making a blanket statement, like exactly like we were making a blanket statement that there's no life anywhere besides us. Like, bruh. You haven't even gone past fucking the planet. You haven't even reached the planet Pluto, and you're saying that planets past Pluto have no life? Like, bruh. Like, bruh. Like, if we're alive, if we exist, there has to be a possibility of something else existing. If we exist, if nothing else existed, why would we be the only ones? For what reason? Like, it just no. Yep. He said we can't even, exactly, we can't go to them because our technology won't allow us, but yet we're making a blanket statement that there's no life out there, but yet we haven't actually physically gone out there to see. There's no life out there, yet we haven't. And look, the homie Yoon said, it all started with the Big Bang. Nope, we are the only ones. Nothing else. I'm just kidding. No, but listen, he's just fucking around. He's all, I'm just kidding, LOL. It is unreasonable to think there is no life anywhere else. And for the people that say they haven't found us, maybe they are progressing like us and can't reach far yet either. Bruh. And he said, bruh, we haven't even figured out our oceans yet, LOL. Bro, if you have not seen, there's some videos and footage. I guess people are posting all these pictures and these videos of what's in Antarctica, because that's the one place that we're not allowed to go. And they're saying that there's like some ice wall, and behind that ice wall is like all this fucking civilization that we don't even know about, that they're trying to keep away from us. Yeah, I'm in the PlayStation chat. Yeah, you can see it on the friends list, you. And they're, you know what I mean? So it's like, and they're showing that there's life out there, and that there's these fucking monuments and these buildings and these ancient civilizations that we have no fucking no knowledge of, because they don't want to tell us about it in these fucking man-made history books with this bullshit they teach us in school. But yet you're seeing all this stuff. There's fucking pyramids over there in Antarctica, bro. Like, those pyramids got put there for a fucking reason, dude. And it's like, how is there? I mean, and now they're starting to find out, like, the conspiracy theory stuff is that these pyramids were put here for a reason, and that a majority of these pyramids are communication devices. They're saying that the conspiracy theory is that these pyramids are communication devices between other life on other planets. Yeah, the hieroglyphics. Yup, you see fucking alien spacecraft. You see fucking like people with like, you know, big heads and almond shaped eyes. Yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing with you. You're right. Like, it's in the hieroglyphics, but they try to say that those are not aliens. Those are just, you know, they're trying to say that it was, you know, a person doesn't know how to draw, so he fucked up. Like bruh, get the fuck out of here. Yep. The caveman stick figures, bruh. Oh, this motherfucker killed me. Oh shit! You know what? Now I didn't even think about that, because the homie Yoon just said you just saw that in Alien versus Predators, and I honestly, it's been a while. It's been a while since I've seen Alien versus Predators. Like, I have the film, I just haven't seen it in a while. But now that I think about it, there is pyramids and shit like that, like he's talking about in the fucking Alien versus Predator. They're still trying to figure out how that's done. He said, I don't know no strong man.
Access denied. Gaslight exit denied.
That's what Predator was showing your ass right there.
Devotion to the UAC's mission on Mars.
That is another theory that we're hybrids of aliens interbreeding with our species when we were like at a low evolution of our development.
UAC accidental death and dismemberment.
They even claim, like some people and some races claim that Asians, like over there in China, Japan, and for Koreans, and Japanese, and Filipinos, every fucking thing let's I know it's not politically correct to label everyone as Asian or Oriental, but everyone that's like that, they claim supposedly that they are specific descendants of hybrid aliens, and that's why their skin tone looks like that, and that's why their eyes look like that, because of they're mixed with alien race. That's the so-called conspiracy and the fucking theory with those people. Like, I don't think that's necessarily true, but the way that they fucking explain it and the way they put it together, it looks it.
Core temperature rising.
Have you filled
Brainwash.
out the UAC accidental death and dismemberment form yet? See Jessica in Human Resources for assistance. Your devotion to
He says, "Ain't no way." Oh shit! Oh, this fucking lame.
you filled out your UAC accidental death and dismemberment form yet? See Jessica in Human Resources for assistance. Have you filled out your UAC accidental death and dismemberment?
demonic threat reduced by 25%.